In this video, we are going to talk about how to find the limit of a piecewise function. So we have this function f of x. It's called piecewise because at two numbers -2 and 3, it has two functions. Like when x is less than -2, the function is 1 over x plus 2, and when x is greater than or equal to -2, the function is x square minus 5. So the function at -2 is splitting. That's why it's called a piecewise function. For less than -2, there is a different function, and for greater than or equal to -2, there is a different function. In the same way, you can see that this function is also splitting at the number 3. For x greater than 3, there is a different function, which is x plus 13 square root. And for x less than or equal to 3, there is a different function, which is x square minus 5. This question has three parts, A, B and C. We will find the solution for the first part first. So the part A says that we have to find the limit of this piecewise function f of x when x is approaching to -2. Now let's have a look at this function f of x. As it is described before, at less than -2 there is a different function, and at x is greater or equal to -2 there is a different function. Whenever it happens that at a number you have to find a limit, in this case the number here is -2, and at -2 your function is splitting. So in that case you will split your question into two parts. We are only splitting this question into two parts because at -2 our original function f of x is splitting. So we will find the left hand limit at -2, and we will also find the right hand limit at -2. Let's talk about the left hand limit first. So you are finding the limit when x is approaching to -2 from the left of -2, and the right hand limit will be when you are approaching to -2 from the right of -2. So to find the left hand limit, since in this case x is approaching to -2 from the left, so x is on the left of -2, so it means that x is less than -2. Now let's look at the original function f of x. For x less than -2, the function is 1 over x plus 2. So here for the left hand limit, we will write the function limit x is approaching to -2, and the function is 1 over x plus 2. And now you can see that here there is this tiny minus sign. We have removed it when we have decided the function. That function is 1 over x plus 2. Now look at the right hand side. So x is approaching to -2 from the right of -2. So we will mark here -2. X is approaching to -2 from the right of -2. So in this case x will be on the right of -2, which says x is greater than -2. Now go back up and look at the function when x is greater than -2, which is here. In this case the function is x square minus 5. So for the right hand limit, we will write limit x is approaching to -2, and the function is x square minus 5. Let's go back to the left hand limit. So x is approaching to -2, 1 over x plus 2. Every question of limit starts by plugging directly the number here is -2. So when we plug the number -2 here, we get 1 over -2 plus 2, which is 1 over 0, which is infinity. Now we know the rule that whenever we get infinity or minus infinity, we split our question into two parts, left hand limit and the right hand limit, and then we just decide on the sign of infinity. But in this particular case, let's look at this, that we are already finding the left hand limit. So we will only find the left hand limit here. We will not split our question into two parts to find the left hand limit and the right hand limit both. So for the left hand limit, we only have to decide on the sign of infinity. We do some rough work here. X is approaching to -2 from the left of -2. Let's pick a number from the left of -2, which is -2.01. Now the function on which we have to decide the sign on is 1 over x plus 2. So we plug the value of x, which is -2.01 plus 2. Answer of this thing is negative. 1 over something negative is negative. So we will go back up and put the sign along with infinity as negative. So that's the answer for the left hand limit at -2. Now let's look at the right hand limit. We already have the function x square minus 5. So we will find the limit at -2. We will plug the number -2 in the place of x. And we get 4 minus 5, which is -1. So at -2, for this question, we found two limits, left hand limit, and we found the right hand limit. The right hand limit answer was -1 and the left hand limit answer was -infinity. Since the left hand limit answer is not definite number, so we will simply say that limit at -2 does not exist. So we have answered the part A. The part B says find the limit at 0. Let's solve the part B now. We have to find the limit of our function f of x at 0. Now let's have a look at the function f of x. You can see that in the function f of x at 0, for which we have to find the limit, the function is not splitting. This function f of x is only splitting at -2 and 3. For x less than -2, there is a different function. For x greater than -2, there is a different function. The same way for x less than 3, there is a different function, and for x greater than 3, there is a different function. Now we have to find the limit at x equal to 0. So we will have to see 0 falls in which category. Is it the first one when x is less than -2, or is it the second case when x is greater or equal to -2 and less than or equal to 3? So look at the second case. This case is about for all x's between -2 and 3. All x's are lying in between -2 and 3. And you can see that 0 lies somewhere here in between -2 and 3. So for this second case, when x is greater or equal to -2 and less than or equal to 3, 0 falls in this category. So to find the limit at 0, we will pick the corresponding function, which is x square minus 5. To find the solution for B, when we have to find the limit at 0, we will write limit x is approaching to 0 and the function here is x square minus 5. Since in every question of limit we directly plug in the number first, so in this case the number is 0 as x is approaching to 0. So we find 0 square minus 5 gives us 0 minus 5, which is -5. And we are done with this B part. Let's look at the third part. The third part says that we have to find the limit of the function f of x at 3. Now we know that by looking at our function f of x that this function is splitting at 3. So whenever you have to find the limit at a number and your function is splitting at that number, so you split your question into two parts, left hand limit and right hand limit. So for the left hand limit, you find the limit when x is approaching to 3 from the left, and for the right hand limit you find the limit when x is approaching to 3 from the right of 3. Now this left hand limit part, when x is approaching to 3 from the left of 3. So x is on the left of 3 means x is less than 3. When we look back at the function f of x, for x less than 3, this is this function. X less than 3, the function is x square minus 5. So for the left hand limit, we will write limit x is approaching to 3, and for less than 3, the function was x square minus 5. Let's solve this part first. So when x is approaching to 3, the function is x square minus 5. So we will directly plug in this number 3, which gives us 9 minus 5, which gives us 4. So we are done with the left hand side part. Now for the right hand limit, since x is approaching to 3 from the right of 3. So it means x is on the right of 3, meaning that x is greater than 3. So what is the function f of x for x is greater than 3? So when we look at the function f of x, we can see that for x greater than 3, the function is square root x plus 13, this one. So we will plug in the function limit x is approaching to 3, and the function here is square root x plus 13. And since in every question of limit, we start by plugging in the number. When we plug in here 3 in the place of x, we get 4. When we had to find the limit at 3 for the function, since our function f of x was splitting at 3, so we split our question into two parts, left hand limit and the right hand limit. The left hand limit, the answer was 4, and for the right hand limit, answer was 4. Since both left hand limit and the right hand limit are same, so you will say that limit of the function f of x at x equal to 3 exists. Suppose that you have a question where you have to find the exact value of the function at 2. So what function will you pick for finding the exact value at 2? The equality sign is here, so we will pick the corresponding function x square minus 5, and in the place of x we will put 2 minus 1. Now suppose you are asked to find the exact value of the function at 3. So first you will pick function where x has the equality sign with 3. So again look at this second category where x is less than or equal to 3. So along with 3, the equality sign is here. So we will pick that function x square minus 5. So square minus 5, and in the place of x you will put 3, which is 4. Now suppose you have to find f at 4 when the value of x is 4. So 4 lies in which category? Yes, it's the third category. So 4 lies in this category where x are greater than 3. So we will pick this function square root. In the place of x we have 4 plus 13. So your answer is square root 17. So this is how in the piecewise function we find the exact value of the function.